Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hello everyone, Craig here with another great business to discuss on this episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. Today's guest is Nicholas, and he's selling his Amazon KDP and digital product business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. So welcome to the show, Nicholas. How are you doing today?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you for asking. And I'm looking forward to talking more about your business. But before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of the business. It's an Amazon KDP and digital product business in the health and fitness niche, created in October 2019. The average monthly revenue for the business is $10,942, and it makes the same average net profit of $10,942 each month. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 52968 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So now that I've given a general overview of the business, let's have a look at what's included in the sale. We have the ACX account, Ingram Spark account, Find Away Voices account, and rights to sell all of the books. Okay, Nicholas, now let's hear from you. Can you tell us a little about your background in building and running online businesses?
Yeah, so this is actually my first online business. So I've had no experience before.
Okay. So what sort of work did you do before this business, and what sort of led you into the online business space?
Well, I always watch a lot of YouTube, and you always see a lot of ads come up, and you always just try and ignore them. But this one kind of came my way, and I looked into it and looked at different videos and all that, and caught my eye and said, why not try it?
A YouTube ad about building an online business, was it?
Yes, online business. There's loads of online business. So I looked at kind of different ones, which is on books, on Shopify, selling products. And I found out that actually selling books and audiobooks actually is like early stages.
Right, so that was a big appeal for you, coming in as sort of a novice, that the Amazon KDP business model is well suited to someone who's not so familiar with online business. Is that right?
Yeah, and when I saw videos, I saw a lot of people that had less experience than me, or the same experience, had like hardly no experience, and still gained a lot of monthly earnings and became successful.
Okay, good stuff. So how come you chose this niche in particular?
Well, I'd heard of Amazon KDP beforehand, and I tried making a few books. Then a friend then recommended me to look into audiobooks, and well, the rest is history.
Yeah, quite right. And so I see you're in the sort of health and fitness niche, selling books that are about mental and spiritual well-being to help with personal problems. Do you have any sort of affinity with that niche, or was it something that you thought was like a trending topic?
I've always been into fitness, mental health, and my primary is like, what books can I make and to help people? So I noticed a gap in the market where there wasn't actually that many books compared to like other topics. So I decided to put all my effort into mental health and spirituality, and I'm guessing I made the right choice.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. So how does this business primarily make money?
So the business makes money through the sales of audiobooks, primarily of ACX Audible. This will make the business maintenance so passive, as there's no PPC involved, and all the sales come originally.
Okay, and so there's a digital product aspect to the business, and that's the book sales through Ingram Spark, is that right?
Yeah, so that we upload the ebooks on Ingram Spark instead of KDP, because I always found someone recommended me Ingram Spark because they found it a lot easier. So I tried it, and it was a lot simpler. Then went on the ACX where you claim the book, and then you find a narrator for your audiobook.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, I mean, it seems you've had some good success with this business. So how come you're selling it at this point?
I've decided to put all my focus into one brand that I'm growing, and the capital will help me do this.
Okay, and is there anything you learned from this business that you will apply to that other brand?
Yeah, so When you find a niche and you start succeeding it, put all your effort into it as much as possible and you will succeed.
Okay, and what did that effort look like for you? How did you sort of grow this business?
Well, I started with a couple of books, then we saw it started doing well, so we tried to get as many books with the top quality writers as possible and like build an audience for that brand.
Okay, that's interesting stuff. And was there anything that you tried with this business that didn't work out for you?
Yeah, so I started with shorter books, and in the audio world, for the most part, customers like longer books. So I realised to spend more upfront instead of trying to cut corners and save money, really. So
yeah, and it seems that in December of 2020, that 2 of your top 5 best-selling books were released in that month. Was there anything different about those books? Was it more well-researched or something like that?
there were longer books, short, and it started with wellness too. A lot of people started getting more healthy, and obviously it's near December.
Okay, yeah, so catching that sort of trend at the good timing.
And you got to prepare for the trend, that up and coming trends. So obviously, because sometimes your book can't go live like within a week, so you need to prepare like months ahead what books you think will do good, and you do your research.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's part of what you've learned with this business. So you mentioned that the majority of your traffic comes from organic search. Have you done any other types of marketing on this business?
Well, we started to do paperbacks and hardbacks in the early days of 2021 in January to get more sales. That's why the sales have gone up over later than instead of earlier. So we decided that maybe people, instead of listening to books, they wanted to actually read the book in front of them. So with that, we went into that and it did quite well.
Yeah, certainly. If you look on the listing page, you'll see that the earnings rose quite considerably at the start of the year. So definitely that's been something that's worked out well for you. If you were to keep this business, what are some ways that you would try to grow it?
Me and my consultant would focus solely on the main brand and begin to grow an audience and become like the biggest player in the niche, as I think it's still a lot of room of growth.
Absolutely, yeah. And what are some ways that you try and become the biggest player? Would you cover more topics or write different types of books?
Probably growing an audience for the main brand, producing more books in this brand, especially longer ones, and then eventually creating some sort of subscription service for fans with unique content just for them, kind of like content creators do on platforms like Patreon, etc.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And you mentioned your consultant. I also see on your listing page that this consultant that would offer some free consulting for a new buyer.
Yes, at the start, if they need any help, like looking for writers or giving them topics of helping at the start, or even in the future, if they need little things like advice, where my consultant's happy to give it to them.
Excellent. Yeah, it'd be great for a buyer to get that expert support, especially if they're new to online business and this is a first acquisition. Can you describe the amount and type of work you do in this business for maintenance?
Maintenance requires is minimal work. It's only really when you are creating and producing more books that work is required, to be honest.
Okay, and what does that sort of work involve?
The main thing is researching topics to find what the market wants in this niche and then providing it. The providing it part involves outlining the book, hiring a freelancer to write it, a cover designer, and then of course a narrator. But once you do it the first time, it becomes really easy, really quickly.
Yeah, I guess you'd have a sort of repeatable process there to make it as efficient.
We have like a couple of writers we use all the time. But once you trust a writer, they know what you want, and then it gets really more quickly and in a flow.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what skills or requirements are there for someone who's not familiar with this niche or business model?
You don't need a lot of requirements. I don't have any skills, but the main thing is just researching and looking for writers. And we can, like I said, my consultant will always be there to recommend you, or where we hire writers and where we hire cover designers. And when you go on ACX to look for your narrators, you can always look for the best ones there. So it's minimal work and you don't need a lot of experience.
Absolutely, yeah. It seems like you've got some quality writers, and that's shown in the reflection of the performance of this business. So what do you think are the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
The main risk is, of course, Amazon. However, by creating a unique subscription service, that could help offset those risks.
Yeah, absolutely. Get that sort of recurring income and build up a customer base, like you say, get some loyal customers. Yeah, that'd be some ways to mitigate the risk. Okay, good stuff. So putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
Well, in Q1, it created over $30,000 in net profit with minimal work. Once you put the effort in up front and provide the market what they want, these assets can continuously create income long term. The brand also has like a great foundation to grow, firstly on Audible/ACX. My consultant is happy to help, as I said, the person to do that. And then from there, the limit is up to the buyer. Like website, unique custom content upon request, more books, etc. It's really up to the buyer how big they want to make it, and we only really scratch the surface.
Okay, yeah, certainly seems that way and could be potential for growth. Excellent stuff. So regarding the sale of this business, would you commit to a non-compete?
Yes.
And how much support are you willing to offer buyers? I guess you're going for the standard 30 days of email and Skype, and you've got the consultant to help ease the transition as well?
Yeah, my consultant, who was a major help for the recent sets, has offered to also help with the transition and offer his advice of growing the brand.
Excellent. And are you open to negotiating something like an earnout?
To be honest, I would prefer to be paid in full, as that is the main reason for selling the raised capital and focus on my main brand. I would potentially be open to maybe 80% upfront and then 20% based on certain conditions. But I'd very much favour an offer of 100% of the price paid upfront.
Yeah, that makes sense. Anything else you'd like to share that I might have missed?
No, that sounds everything all good.
Yeah, covered a lot of good stuff. So thank you very much for your time, Nicholas. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Excellent.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 52968. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.